Professional wrestling is the one true sport. Other sports have their share of intense, dramatic moments, but nothing can compare with professional wrestling. Welcome to Wrestling History X, where three friends come together to talk about the stories behind the matches. I'm Matt.
And I'm Magnum P.I.
And hi, I'm Charles Robinshane.
Welcome to episode 337, Starrcade 1998.
Who's next?
The challenge has been issued.
Yeah, oops.
It's all good.
Yeah.
I got you.
I thought it was who's next, and that was it.
It shouldn't be...
Damn it. You're next.
I guess it could work either way. Who's next? The challenge has been issued, ... Who's next? Makes a little bit more sense, but they both work.
We know WCW's taglines aren't...
No.
Yeah,
They're not synonymous with good.
Yes. ... would be a little too much thought.
Yeah. No ellipses here.
So this is the 16th annual Starrcade produced by WCW. It would take place on December 27th, 1998 from the MCI Center in Washington, D.C. with an attendance of 16,066 people.
Not bad.
It's a lot of sixes in that number.
Almost evil.
Is this show evil? The return of Kevin Sullivan.
Oh, father.
But we are in D.C.
Yeah, we are.
So Shane, did you do what you do?
I think I did anyways. As I stated on the previous episode, I've never eaten anything in DC, so I'm going strictly by what Google tells me. And I did what I do in the sense that I got on the old Google machine and looked up what the hell is popular in DC. What are some popular foods? And we have a popular food item that they have there that I didn't stumble upon until it was too late. Is something known as the half smoke. It is the signature dish of Washington, D.C., and it's a type of sausage similar to like a hot dog and a smoked sausage. Beef and pork. I guess it's been made famous at a place called Ben's Chili Bowl, but that one was too difficult to recreate because I couldn't find the specific type of sausage or hot dog that they used for it, and I didn't want to just use a basic bitch one. Apparently there's something called mumbo sauce, which is like a sweet and tangy condiment, like a barbecue sauce, but a little sweeter and tangier, often paired with chicken wings. They're famous for their jumbo slices of pizza, but apparently they have just a big multicultural phenomenon there, food-wise. There's lots of Peruvian places that have become popular thanks to Anthony Bourdain. I almost ordered one of those, but it has to travel too far, and that one I don't think I'd want to have it after it's been sitting for 20-30 minutes, because if I'm getting Peruvian food for the first time, I'm on it fresh, hot out of the kitchen. So
Peruvians tried to do me in.
yes. I found a couple different places in Oklahoma City, though, that had Peruvian food. One of them's in Edmond, one of them is in Moore.
And we're between those two places.
Yes. But then I also noticed that when I went through the lists of food, one of the things that popped out was pupusas. They have a big Salvadorian community, I guess, in the D.C. area, and it's just kind of ramped up the foods out there. Coincidentally, my old house has a pupuseria right behind it, and it specializes in El Salvadorian cuisine. It is called, I gotta remember how to say it right.
Pupuseria mi
Chalateca?
Chalateca.
Yes, pupuseria mi Chalateca, or some sort of variation of those letters pronounced similarly to that. But I got a couple different things. I pulled up DoorDash and just saw what they had available on there. They had some little deals right now for 20% off of popular items, and one of those items was the pastelito, which is just a little fried pastry that is stuffed with chicken and potato and spices.
It's good. It's like a samosa, but what if it was a chicken soup inside? Yes. But not as like,
yeah,
but like flavor profile.
If they took one of those soup dumplings and a samosa
or a chicken noodle soup, but take out the noodles, add potato.
Yeah, not so much soup.
Yeah. But yeah, flavor-wise.
It's just a pastry stuffed with chicken and potato and seasonings and stuff. And then it comes with the typical, what is it called? Cordido, which is the little slaw that they make to put on the side. It's tangy, lightly fermented cabbage slaw. And some carrots in there, jalapenos, so it gives it a good little spice to it.
I think there may be celery seed.
Possibly.
At least this one I was like, what is that? What are those little flecks there? There's some flavor going on here.
And then it just comes with some basic salsa roja that I've had it in places before where they'll put it in little cups. This one, they put it in little Ziploc baggies.
That's how I knew this was probably the one I'd been to before.
Yes. And, it just kind of adds to the authenticity of it because we're not going to spend all the money on these styrofoam containers for our sauces. We're just going to put them in baggies and then put everything else in styrofoam.
You know you're at an authentic Hispanic restaurant if the to-go food comes with plastic bags full of hot sauce. It's just the way it goes.
I also got the pupusa that I've gotten from here before. This one is the
cheese bean and
it's
pork.
Cheese bean and pork rinds, but it is known as the revueltas, which is frijoles, chicharrón con queso. So yeah, beans, cheese, and pork rinds, and it's just a stuffed tortilla. It's pan fried, stuffed with all those goodies there. It comes with that same little slaw and sauce on the side. Yeah, I had one of these for the first time a handful of years ago when one of my employees brought them in, and I got hooked on them ever since then, and that's when I discovered, holy shit, there's one literally right out my back door.
And they're good, and they're filling,
yes.
And they're cheap.
Yes, these ones are on DoorDash. They were like $3.50, $3.75. In the restaurant themselves, I believe they are just $3. They have one that is a jumbo size or mega size one that's $12, $13, something like that. So I'm assuming Michael was talking about one he'd had or saw that was the size of like a pizza.
Yeah,
So I think that's what that is. This one is more of like your
just like a
personal pizza.
It's the size of a tortilla, basically.
But other stuff I've had there. Sorry, I'm chewing with my mouth full. You didn't hear anything on that one other than some crunch of some cabbage. But this is one of those authentic places that they fry up the whole fish, head and eyeballs and all. I'd never been there for breakfast before, but they have a killer-looking breakfast menu as well. Their huevos rancheros look like they're pretty freaking tasty. I'm going to do like I normally do with this pastelito because that's going to be the thing that has hopefully more sound to it. We'll get this side. It seems a little crunchier.
I bet that means little pastry.
I'm going to guess you might be right on that one. But yeah, if you've never had a pupusa, I highly recommend them. Any little Hispanic community that you have around is going to have some sort of at least one restaurant that's going to serve.
One Salvadorian spot.
Yeah.
Also, it's fun to say. They're delicious, and I can confirm that they're pretty great for a hangover.
See, I've never had them for a hangover. I take that back. I may have gone to work a little hungover at times, and that may have been the day that Manuel brought them in. But
it's comfort food.
If you're ever in Oklahoma City, Northwest 23rd and Villa Avenue, it looks like a little old orange house on the main street there that they've just flipped into a restaurant.
And if you want to knock on Shane's door, he's right on the other side.
Shane don't live there anymore.
I know, that's why I said that.
Keep on
Otherwise
knocking.
I wouldn't have doxed you like that.
Yeah, knock around and match the voice to whoever you meet at the door. But here we go, 1, 2, 3 with my pastelito in front of the microphone. Here we go. Not too much noise, but chock full of fucking flavor.
You ever think about becoming a Foley artist for commercials?
I mean, I've done little camera work for social media stuff as far as food pictures and whatnot. And a friend of mine is a influencer in Tulsa who has a massive following on the old TikTok. So maybe one day I'll get to be a part of her videos and be worldwide famous.
I don't think any Foley artists are famous. They're the people that just make the sounds.
I'm going to be a Mick Foley artist then.
There you go.
Well, something that would happen right around the same time as this show, Mr. Show, with Bob and David, would air their last episode the next day.
Wow.
Mr. Show fans?
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too.
Never watched it.
Very good. It's very funny, and I'd highly suggest it. And
I mean, the cast that's on there of your Bob and David are two very well-known people. So
this is the thing that got them,
there. So many people got their start on this show.
SpongeBob. Why can't I think
Tom
of him?
Kenny,
Tom Kenny.
Brian
I thought you
Posehn,
meant they had like a SpongeBob segment.
Paul F. Tompkins, Scott Ackerman,
What's the
Sarah Silverman, Marilyn Rice Cub.
Yeah, that's her name.
Jack Black.
Jack Black was in it.
Yep. Tenacious D had a show on HBO that aired after Mr. Show for a short time. There's only, I think, like 6 episodes of it. And it's my favorite thing Tenacious D ever did. I like that show better than any of the albums.
Yeah.
Ben Stiller, Marlon Wayans, Geneva Ross.
Do you have a favorite sketch that you can think of?
I mean, I've seen the whole show, but I've seen the first, because I had that first DVD of like, I think it was the first 2 seasons. I never had all of the DVDs.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen those the most. I'm trying to remember the premise or what the joke was, but I remember really loving a later one where they're like at a future bar. The robot is being racist to the humans or something.
That sounds about right.
I also really love the one where he tries to take a shit on the flag and then on the American flag, and then they explain that the American flag was designed with a mix of colors.
That's the only sketch that they actually ever got hate mail about.
Really?
And they found out that the person who messaged them
Was Kurt Angle?
never finished watching the sketch.
Oh, really?
So he didn't realize that he doesn't actually defecate on the flag.
No. The whole joke is that he keeps trying to shit on the flag, and then it like shows that explains that the combination of colors is specifically chosen so that it like makes you like subconsciously constipated or whatever.
Yeah.
Really stupid. But the magic of this show is that it like seamlessly moves from skit to skit.
Yeah.
And like kind of just like keeps it moving forward. And it's also genius too, because the hardest thing to do is finish a skit strongly.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do that here. You can just do the funniest part and like move on into the next thing intelligently. And then the show is hosted by Bob and David. And then so you have like, it's just like the most, I think, interesting and intelligently put together sketch show as far as having a device.
Yeah.
Because there's like the Chappelle Show or Key and Peele where you have your host and then the sketches or whatever, but they're still just standalone sketches. Whereas this is a whole other layer of work.
The only other sketch show that really ever did anything like that was Monty Python, and most of the time they still had the animated sequences in between that did help it move from one sketch to the next, but
it wasn't
as natural and like
there wasn't as much thought put into it. They're like, oh, that would be cool or that works, but like this one you can tell that they like have all these sketch ideas and probably a series of like whiteboards whenever they're putting this together.
I mean, the sketch that I always remember, and I admit it's problematic.
I mean, most of the funny ones are,
but it's the farmer's daughter.
Oh, yep, yeah.
And Jack Black actually plays the farmer in that one.
Oh, yeah, he does.
And so that one cracks me up every time I even think about it. But
I'll have to go back and watch it.
I mean, it's literally 30 episodes of just greatness.
Another thing is that, I mean, I know they're both, like, they're a little different, but me and my friends in high school, we watched the Run Ronnie Run movie all the time, which was a skit from this about just a hillbilly that is always arrested. And the movie came out, I think, either right after or right before Joe Dirt. But, like, there's no way it would have ever been more popular because Joe Dirt is in the vein of, like, a 90s comedy, and Run Ronnie Run has still got a little bit of that weird Bob and David vibe to it, where there's, like, a music video in the middle of it or infomercials in the middle of it. But
Joe Dirt did come out first.
But I do think that the Run Ronnie Run is really funny. And I like Joe Dirt, but Run Ronnie Run is probably the funnier movie.
I mean...
different, for sure.
I mean, obviously David Cross left this show and made it onto Arrested Development, which is one of the best sitcoms, if that's what you want to call it, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was like the first
time.
of the sitcoms to do something.
It was ahead of its time.
Yeah, it was ahead of its time for sure. Like before all. Yeah, it was like kind of the one that took the leap that a bunch of other people got the like credit for, but in hindsight, it's still the one that's kind of critically the most beloved. I mean, people crap their pants over The Office, but that's everybody craps their pants over The Office. It's not really there's nothing special about that at this point. But Arrested Development was one of those shows that like was basically always on the brink of being canceled, but it had a very loud audience considering how much smaller the internet was back then.
Yep.
And like pre-social media.
It was a Fox TV show.
Yep.
And then, of course, Bob Odenkirk. So many people out there probably don't even realize that he was a comedian.
Yep.
Yeah, because of
Breaking
Saul.
Bad and Better Call Saul.
You know what really cracked me up was seeing the last version of Little Women that came out, and the dad shows back up home after not being around for a while, and it's Bob Odenkirk, and it just like took me out of it because it's Bob Odenkirk. I can't see him as anybody else because I see him as the comedian first and then the serious actor.
Yeah.
But him in like, 1800s garb was just, or early, turn of the century garb was just so funny.
I mean,
How different The Office would be had he been cast as Michael Scott. Because he was
I probably would
in
have
contention.
I probably would have watched The Office if he was Michael Scott.
Nobody was actually a really fun action film.
The sequel comes out
And the sequel comes out here in a few weeks.
tomorrow. I never saw
Or
this.
a couple weeks ago, I guess.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago. Pull back the curtain. But no, I didn't see Nobody. I need to check it out. I like the John Wick movies, and I like the idea of Bob Odenkirk doing a John Wick type of movie.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Like, nothing to like write home about, but it's fun. If you want a fun action flick,
I mean,
that kind of
that's all I need to hear because most action movies are not fun these days. So that's the key. That's the most important word for an action movie. It's either fun, violent, just fun or violent, and those two things typically go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
But if you haven't watched Mr. Show, I'm pretty sure HBO still has it out there.
Yeah, I just had to look to see where it was. And
I can't imagine HBO taking it down.
It's available. Come on. HBO Max.
It holds up real well.
So yeah, it's out there on HBO. Like I said, if you haven't watched it, it's 30 episodes. They're 30 minutes long. It'll be the best week of binging that you can have.
Sketch comedy is one of the hardest things to do well, and these are two of the best to do it.
And what was the other show that came in, I guess, after this one?
Kids in the Hall?
Well, no, was there another Mr. Show?
Well, they did with
Tim and Eric,
with Bob and David. They did a
short Netflix.
Netflix thing.
It's kind of a reunion thing that was in the vein of Mr. Show with Bob and David, but they couldn't use the name Mr. Show because HBO still owns it.
But yes, Tim and Eric is also a group that does some sketch stuff.
I mean, no, there's just the Tim and Eric show was a sketch. It was all sketch. I was a huge Tim and Eric fan when that show was coming out, and they don't. Tim Heidecker still does his own thing. I don't know what Erica Wareheim does.
But their stuff was a little bit out there.
Theirs was more surreal, for sure, and more surreal and aggressive, but not as aggressive as like $1 Million Extreme.
And see, I said Tim and Eric like I knew who I was talking about, and then I pulled up the names, and that's not who I was even talking about.
Really?
What
Tim
I
and
was
Eric,
talking
people
about
either
was-
love or hate. I was one of the
I
lovers.
swear there was a show that has... I'm trying to think what the hell this dude has been in.
I think you should leave.
I don't know.
That's the.
I gotta look.
Human Giant.
I never watched Human Giant.
I didn't either. I've wanted to, like, but MTV
It was
doesn't.
Aziz, Michael Ian Black, and
Paul Shear.
Paul Shear.
But like, I haven't been able to find those episodes streaming anywhere.
I mean, Comedy Central blew their own brains out years ago, so I'm sure a lot of that content is just kind of floating
on
in
MTV.
What?
That was on MTV.
That was on MTV?
Yeah.
Who am I
Sorry
thinking of?
Are you thinking of the
He was
Ben
like
Stiller
a younger,
show?
20-something black guy. I can picture his somewhat fro. I'm trying to think what the hell he's been in.
You're not talking Key and Peele, are you?
No, neither of them had afros.
Well,
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
know.
they have afros in some of their
sketches.
sketches.
Yeah. What's the? Oh no, the state. The state's probably is.
No, I remember the State. I was a big fan of the State. This was like a 2000s duo, mid 2000s even.
I couldn't tell you.
Younger, 20-ish, maybe 30-ish. I swear one of their names was Eric though.
Eric Andre?
There we go.
Did he ever have a sketch show?
Oh.
Yes. It was more in the Tim and Eric vein of being a little bit more surreal.
Yeah, because his TV show was just like, it was basically the Tom Green show, but only the desk segment.
You know, there was someone listening to us that was like screaming Eric Andre.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know Eric Andre ever had a sketch.
But hey, this is the guy who's never watched even, you know...
I heard you, bro. I heard you.
Bob and Dave. So, yeah, I guess it was just the Eric Andre show. For some reason, I was thinking it was like a different name.
David Cross had a really good run as that guy in movies. You know, he's in Men in Black. Yeah, he would just show up and be like, "Oh, it's a bald guy with glasses." He had the perfect look to be just a guy that shows up as the guy running a pawn shop.
Well, let's talk some Starrcade. Generic music plays with close-up shots of Goldberg, along with footage of his entrance and his matches. When the logo comes on the screen, pyro goes off, and Tony Schiavone welcomes us to the show with Mike Tenay and Bobby the Brain Heenan joining him. And Tony says we will have the biggest world title match the world has ever witnessed. Followed by Heenan's analysis being that Kevin Nash is bigger and has been a world champion in another company. But he bets his mortgage on Goldberg. And Tenay chimes in that the Wolfpack has the momentum before Schiavone reveals breaking news about Flair versus Bischoff. Eric has banned the Horsemen from the building, which the Nature Boy did agree to, just so he could get his hands on Bischoff, while the Brain thinks it's a trap. They then talk DDP versus the Giant, where Mike says Page will get his payback. Tony then sends it to a commercial for a QVC WCW special.
This cracked my shit up.
Where Bret Hart, Scott Steiner, and Chris Jericho talk about what you can get, with the Hitman guaranteeing it won't just be a jewelry show.
They selling fucking duffel bags.
You're going to get this authentic Hitman jacket. Or, you know, jersey.
I'd love to see
selling all their wares on QVC.
Yeah, are they down this bad already? They're selling turnbuckle pads.
Old WWF style Hitman
Turner
glasses.
probably owns that channel too. So
yeah, I know. I'm just making fun of WCW because low hanging fruit, buddy.
If you're jumping on the QVC bandwagon, something might need to change.
We come back to Mean Gene Okerlund in the entranceway, where he says that Steve Mongo McMichael had to be escorted by police out of the building, followed by talking about the hotline and the familiar faces backstage. But you have to call to find out who they are. Ooh. But we go to our first match. Juventud Guerrera versus Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Billy Kidman in a triangle match for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. And the story behind this match was that Eddie Guerrero wouldn't let Mysterio leave the LWO because he signed a contract. So he was presented with a new shirt, only for it to be 3 sizes too large. So Rey began costing Eddie and Juvi matches, while also helping Billy. Guerrero and Mysterio would have a number 1 contenders match, but the LWO ruined it, causing WCW to make this match. And Rey brings out his LWO shirt, only to throw it down and wipe his feet on it before making it into the ring. I'd say he's done with the Latino World Order.
I think so.
And Guerrero starts us off by shoving both of his opponents, so they team up to hammer away on Juvi, with Mysterio nailing a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker before Kidman delivers a dropkick. Rey then whips Guerrero to a corner where he leaps up and over the charging Mysterio, but right into the arms of Billy, only for Rey to go for a forearm that ends up hitting Kidman, so they begin trading strikes. And Juvi's cheering this on when they notice and team up again for a double clothesline, followed by exchanging blows once more. And they both attempt to go for superplexes to Guerrero, but they block each other, leading to Mysterio being on Billy's shoulders. So Juvi flies off the top with the crossbody, only for Rey to victory roll out of the way, which Kidman catches and wheelbarrow suplexes Mysterio onto Guerrero for multiple 2 counts as they break up each other's attempts.
Crowd is hot. This is how you want to start a show. Quick guys doing cool moves.
Yep.
Juvi fights back to nail a double bulldog and makes a double cover for a near fall. He then chops his opponent's back before whipping Rey into a hurricanrana attempt of Billy. but he's blocked and placed on Guerrera's shoulders for a lawn dart, only for Mysterio to escape out the back and send Juvi headfirst into the turnbuckle. And Ray grabs Guerrero, bouncing back into his arms for a suplex, but Juvi flips out, only for Kidman to deliver a clothesline to Guerrero, followed by Mysterio running in to hit a sit-out facebuster to Billy for a 2 count. Ray tries a pin on Juvi as well to no avail, before Guerrero also tries one on Kidman that gets a near fall. Juvi then clotheslines Billy to the floor, followed by backdropping Mysterio on top of Kidman, before also leaping out himself with a springboard plancha that takes down both men.
What haven't they done?
Yeah. Guerrero then rolls everyone in and goes to the top, flying off only for both of his opponents to nail dropkicks on their way down to send Juvi to the apron, while Billy gets Ray on his shoulders. When Guerrero springboards in for a Hurricanrana Mysterio off of the shoulders of Billy, making a cover, but Kidman breaks it up and gets a 2 count on a cover of Juvi. Billy then attempts a vertical suplex, only for Guerrero to flip out and grab a waistlock, but Kidman counters it into a tornado bulldog, catching Ray with a dropkick as well on his way down for a near fall on Juvi. And Billy continues with a side slam and he heads up top for a splash, but Guerrero gets his boots up to the gut, allowing Mysterio to deliver an Arabian press to Kidman for a 2 count as Juvi breaks it up.
I know we've seen Juvi wrestle more often recently, but props to him for being able to keep up with the luchadors as a white boy in a wife beater and jean shorts. Impressive stuff.
Those months of drug addiction, you don't even notice anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to do that. Yeah, going from shooting up to shooting off the turnbuckle. Impressive turnaround.
Ray places Guerrero on the apron, followed by a springboard Rana that sends him to the floor, only for Kidman to be back up to bring Mysterio in the hard way. Billy with a second rope guillotine leg drop for a near fall as Juvi jumps in to break it up, before Kidman powerbombs Guerrero down for a 2 count, when Ray hits a basement dropkick to stop the attempt. And Mysterio capitalizes with a bulldog on Billy, but Juvi's back up to nail an over-the-shoulder backbreaker for a 2 count. Billy then tosses Guerrero outside, tries to do the same to Ray, only for him to hold onto the ropes and backdrop Kidman to the floor, followed by an ICI moonsault onto both men. Mysterio rolls Juvi in and delivers a springboard Rana, but he doesn't make a cover. Instead, has his whip reversed and is caught with a Juvi driver for the pin. And no, Billy breaks it up. Guerrero then takes Kidman to the top, only to be kicked away when Ray charges in with Juvi vaulting him to the top for a super Rana to Billy for the pin. And no, Guerrero breaks it up.
It's tough when there's 3 men in the ring.
Juvi picks up Kidman for his finisher, but Billy slips free and lands a sit-out spinebuster, only for Mysterio to break up the pin. And Guerrero counters a Rana inside the ring by Ray, but Mysterio reverses a powerbomb into a Rana that takes them both to the outside, with Kidman then flying off the top with a shooting star press onto both of them.
Can I get a goddamn?
Eddie Guerrero then makes his way to ringside, which brings the ref out to wonder why he's there, while Billy takes Juvi back inside, where Guerrero nails a hot shot and goes for a sunset flip, only for Kidman to drop down on his shoulders. But the ref is now checking on Ray.
Damn.
And Eddie uses this opportunity to flip Juvi on top, with Charles Robinson rushing back in to make the count, when Mysterio would run in and drop-kick Guerrero, which flips Billy back on top for the pin and the win. Post-match, Guerrero is outside celebrating with his back turned to the action, but then takes a mic to begin berating Juvi and Ray when he learns who won the match.
I'm trying to help you. You fucked it up.
And he's wondering why they couldn't beat a cream puff sissy like Kidman, labeling them as embarrassments and vows to finish the job himself. Eddie then challenges Kidman to a match, with Billy returning to suggest that they do it right now.
Call his bluff.
Only for Guerrero to say he needs to get his gear and prepare for the match. So Kidman calls him scared and goads Eddie into our second match.
Do it.
Eddie Guerrero with Juventud Guerrera and Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Billy Kidman for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. And Guerrero stomps down Billy, followed by a clothesline and a powerbomb for a 2 count, an inside cradle for a near fall, and chops. Eddie tosses Kidman high into the air for him to land face first on the mat before applying an ab stretch, even using Juvi as leverage, until Rey shoves Guerrero to break it up several times, which brings Guerrero out to get into Mysterio's face. Back inside, Billy fires up with a slingshot head scissors, pop-up dropkick, and hammers away, only for Eddie to respond with a chop block and a modified deathlock. Kidman goes outside to regroup, but Guerrero gives chase, only to have his whip reversed and sent into a guardrail, where Juvi grabs Billy from behind to allow Eddie to regain control with a head slam into a ring post.
Posted.
They head inside where Kidman rallies with a bulldog, mounted punches, and a sleeper. But Guerrero escapes with a jawbreaker and clocks his opponent with his work boot. Eddie calls time to put his shoe back on, only to throw it at Rey instead, before nailing a brainbuster and heading up top. But Billy meets him there to deliver a superplex for a 2 count. Guerrero answers right back with a basement drop kick and a leg lock with leverage, until Mysterio hits Eddie with his boot to break it up.
Go, Eddie.
And Guerrero lands a springboard head scissors and sets up for a powerbomb, only for Kidman to reverse it into a facebuster, stomps, a body slam, and a slingshot leg drop for a near fall. And Billy places Eddie on the top now and goes for a Frankensteiner, but Guerrero holds onto the ropes to block, allowing Eddie to put Kidman on the turnbuckle. Spider arrives and distracts the ref, while Billy has shoved Guerrero down to the mat, setting up for his finisher, when Juvi yanks him down, causing Kidman to crotch himself. And Eddie rejoins him on the top when Rey trips him up, causing Guerrero to crotch himself and fall down to the mat, with Billy delivering a shooting star press for the pin and the win. Post-match, Mysterio and Kidman escape to the back as Spider and Juvi rush the ring.
What did Spider accomplish coming out here? Did he just run out too early? Were they running out of time? Because this went on for a long time.
He distracted the ref so the people on the outside could interfere.
Okay.
Yeah.
It happened.
It happened. Thing is there's an incredible amount of talent and good work in this first 40 minutes of this pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Too much, too quick, too long. It's like it was like I should be more excited by this than I was, because like I just needed to catch the vibe for a pay-per-view. Like get me going and move on.
Was it scheduled to be too long, or did these guys just go over
I don't know if
to
they
get their moment because they were tired of being pushed back?
I think that it's probably just that WCW doesn't know how to pace a show. I think it's mostly that. Where they're like, oh, we'll get the crowd excited. It's like
Crowd's not chanting boring.
I mean, the crowd,
so.
the crowd was hot the whole time, but as a viewer from home, I was like, this is a lot to ask for the first 40 minutes of a pay-per-view.
I mean, before we go any further, I am going to say that the first match is a shortlist match.
It was
great.
That.
I mean, it was wonderful.
I mean, it probably came very close to going probably too long.
I'd agree.
But just them doing literally everything.
There's nothing left for anybody to do on this show.
Can I get a side Russian leg sweep or something? Test of strength.
Yeah, but like all the time, everybody's timing was great for the pin breakups and blah, blah, blah. It made sense. Didn't feel like somebody laying on the side of the ring like we see in matches like this typically.
Yeah.
Kinetic. Kinetic is the word.
But at the same time, the reason that sometimes they're laying on the side of the ring is so that we don't have 7 million breakups of pins.
Yeah.
Which, if someone was going to have a problem with that match, it probably would be that it goes on too long, and it goes on too long because they just keep breaking up each other's pins.
Yeah.
So, like, literally probably needed to lay one of them out on the outside so the other two could go to a finish. Tony then sends us to a video recap about our main event, where we get clips of their various confrontations, edited with footage of clouds and bright sunshine as angelic music plays.
And it tells us nothing. It's just black and white footage of these two wrestlers and some music, and it might be the biggest waste of a promo package time ever. It's short, but it's just like we didn't accomplish anything. We saw Nash, we saw Goldberg in black and white.
Yeah.
We didn't see anything about
why they're fighting.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even think the belt was in the promo, so like
if it was, it might have
package.
been like just reused footage from the opening of the show where it's just close-ups of Goldberg's body with the belt around him.
Did we get an actual flashback of World War III? I'm trying to remember.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, totally serves its purpose.
So we go to our third match. Norman Smiley versus Prince Iaukea.
Prince is back.
Yeah.
Or should I say Norman Smiley.
Smiley.
Norman Smiley.
So the two men are back and forth to start when Iaukea drop kicks Norman to the floor, following out with a somersault senton off the apron and dragging Smiley in for a 2 count. Prince with a snap suplex, but Norman answers with a headbutt, strikes, and arm work such as a Kimura lock and a short arm scissors.
Get him.
Smiley keeps up the attack by dropping Iaukea on the ropes, does the big wiggle, and a spinning slam for a near fall, before going to a head scissors to wear his opponent down, until he telegraphs his move, allowing Prince to go for a sunset flip, which Norman stays up and punches down. But Iaukea holds on to pull Smiley over for a 2 count. Norman then regains control with a knee drop, a double stomp, and a seated ab stretch, only for Prince to fire back with clotheslines and goes for a suplex. But Smiley blocks and reverses into one of his own, followed by a stalling butterfly slam for a near fall.
Norman Smiley might have the loudest chops ever. Like, I just was like, damn. Yeah. It was...
Giant chops for such a little man.
Like 3 minutes into this match, I was like, is Norman Smiley my favorite wrestler? This guy's doing all of the things that I love and doing them incredibly well. I mean, we haven't seen him in quite a while, but not in any real way, but I was like, he must have been in Japan just tearing it up because he's here in rare form. Prince Iaukea looks much better than we've seen him because he's keeping up.
Maybe the times that we haven't seen Ric Flair, he's just chopping and chopping and chopping away with old Norman.
Yeah, no, Norman Smiley's like, his chops sound like he's been practicing on a tree in his backyard. It's crazy.
Did you do the big wiggle?
That was the first time I remembered seeing. I mean, I was like, well, I guess I didn't know it was going to call the big wiggle, but I'm down. I'm down with his big wiggle. I'm pro big wiggle.
So we get more arm work from Norman when Iaukea begins delivering palm thrusts and shoulder blocks. But Smiley responds with a drop toe hold and another big wiggle, which allows Prince to recover to land a bridging belly-to-belly suplex for a 2 count. Norman returns to the body scissors, transitioning into an arm, leg, and knuckle lock before nailing another double stomp. And Iaukea is back to his feet to trade strikes and an elbow drop to the gut, sending Smiley to the floor to regroup. But Prince doesn't let him rest, bringing him back in, only for Norman to rake the eyes to slow the momentum. And they exchange strikes again when Iaukea hits a turnbuckle smash and whips his opponent to a corner. But Smiley avoids the charge in, only to be taken down by a snapmare and a springboard crossbody, which Norman uses the momentum to roll through for a 2 count. Smiley then reverses a hip toss into a backslide, but Prince blocks, so Norman counters into a Norman Conquest, which is a crossface chicken wing, only to not get his hands locked, allowing Iaukea to escape momentarily. But Smiley reapplies his finisher for the submission and the win.
Norman Conquest, huh?
I might be on an island here, but this was one of my favorite WCW matches in a long time. I think a lot of it had to do with style and also it feeling fresh. Not fresh because I didn't know who these guys were, but fresh because I've seen these guys before and it exceeded my expectations as they came out and I was like, oh, I like Norman. I haven't seen him in a long time. Eyes roll at Prince Iaukea, and then they went on to have a match that was fit for my favorite wrestling company, New Japan.
I do think it went on maybe a tad long.
I mean,
for these two guys that no one cares about.
Yeah.
Quotation marking it. No one cares about. So, maybe a little too long for a pay-per-view match.
I mean, what does WCW have, and when they have it, do they use it? But I think also that going back to the first two matches, which is basically one segment, it was incredible because they did everything, but that's also when you do everything, I start to glaze over, and this one felt more like the kind of wrestling match that I liked. So I didn't have an issue with the time. I got excited by this, which was crazy. Crazy.
Scott Hall then makes his way to the ring with no music and wearing an outsider shirt. And he takes the mic to say it's too sweet to be in DC for the holidays. But he's had a pretty bad year. But he can't blame anybody but himself.
True.
Losing everything he ever cared about. And Scott continues that tonight, the guy he used to call his best friend gets the opportunity of a lifetime to be the main man in wrestling. Followed by saying that Nash and people had told him to prove himself. Only he doesn't have to prove anything to anybody. Just himself. And Hall finishes up with that he can't wait to kiss 1998 goodbye. Because 1999 is his year.
Yep.
It's a good promo, but it's kind of sad because we all know the trials and tribulations of one Scott Hall.
Yeah.
But if this worked out for the best, that would have been cool.
Yeah, they got him all, dressed up, and I say dressed up. They got his hair slicked back and done, and he's looking good.
The promo was good, but it's like, when people are fighting issues like that, they might have a good week or a good month or, on the good foot for a while.
Yeah, for some reason that always slips my mind that he's actually tall.
Yeah, he's a big guy. Kevin Nash, a little bit bigger.
A little bit.
Tony then sends it to a video recap of Bam Bam Bigelow, showing him arriving at a Nitro, attacking Scott, when Kevin and Goldberg would confront him, causing WCW to make a triple threat match. And Hall would interfere in that match, so Bill speared both Nash and Bam Bam before brawling with Kevin to end the show.
And that was Monday.
That was on a Nitro, yeah.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't this last Nitro.
I'm trying to remember. We watched a Raw that was opposite of this Nitro, but I'm trying to remember if that's the one with the bloodbath.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's not that important. I'm just curious about the Bam Bam of it all.
No, it would have been 2 weeks before.
Okay. Just far enough away to hand wave the Bam Bam of it all.
Yeah. So we go to our fourth match. Ernest, the Cat Miller, with Sonny Onoo versus Saturn.
Perry.
And the story behind this match was that Miller had mocked Perry for being pinned by Onoo at World War III. So Saturn challenged the Cat. But he required Perry to defeat Sonny again to get the bout. And Saturn would take his frustrations out on Onoo, placing him in his finisher. So Sonny would complain that Miller didn't save him. And Onoo would bribe Perry to stop hurting him, only for Saturn to take the money and continue the attack anyways. Get rich or die trying, right?
So saith 150 Cent.
So the cat taunts a granny in the crowd as he makes his way to the ring, followed by taking a mic to tell everyone to shut up, that the fans should be happy as they get to witness the greatest whoop somebody, before also telling Perry that the law requires him to give his opponent 5 seconds to leave. And Miller turns and begins to count, only for Saturn to just wind up that arm.
Seeing Perry Saturn wind up a punch is very funny.
And he decks his opponent, sending the cat out to regroup and stall around ringside. And every time Miller looks to re-enter, Perry's right there, so the cat turns to leave, until Saturn turns his back. So Miller runs back into the ring, he slides in, only to stop short.
Pretty funny stuff.
So Perry nails him with strikes until the cat lures his opponent into a handshake, which is a trap, as Miller rakes the eyes and chokes Saturn.
I feel like the cat would have done well as a territory chicken shit heel, because it's exactly what angle we're doing here.
Yep.
And the cat taunts the crowd and argues with the ref, allowing Perry to recover to attempt his finisher, which he can't get locked on. But Saturn keeps up the attack with amateur wrestling until Miller can escape to the floor. And Perry gets taken down by a thrust kick once the cat returns to the ring, continuing the punishment with chops and strikes, only for Saturn to respond with suplexes for a 2 count. Perry also delivers a swinging net breaker and he heads up top, but he misses a flying axe handle as Miller sidesteps and hits another thrust kick. And the cat grabs hold of his opponent, calling Onoo into the ring for a shot of his own, only for Sonny's kick to strike Miller instead. So the cat answers back with a front kick to Onoo, with Saturn using the opening to nail a Death Valley driver for the pin and the win.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Mean Gene's in the aisleway and he brings out the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. And we haven't seen Flair since Sold Out 1998, all the way back in episode 291. And Okerlund talks about how the Horsemen are banned from the building, and the Nature Boy agreeing to that stipulation. Followed by Flair saying Bischoff still runs WCW, so it makes no difference. He will kick Eric's ass tonight, threatening to rip him apart piece by piece, taking his fingers, eyes, arms, necks, and as you know what.
He's got more than one neck.
And the Nature Boy continues that he will put the figure 4 on him and squeeze until the bone goes gick.
It's so good.
Promising to teach Bischoff what it's like to be a jet-flying, limousine-riding, kiss-stealing, wheeling-dealing son of a gun. And Eric will pay the price of wrestling tradition. Mean Gene then sends it to a video recap of this feud, where we see Bischoff's history with the NWO, including being powerbombed by Nash, kowtowing to Hogan's demands, before joining the group. We then get the words power-hungry, manipulative, controlling, abusive, egomaniac, as Eric's actions with the NWO are shown, until WCW would spin Bischoff, which would drive him crazy and disrespectful as he attacked executives, even leading to him firing J.J. Dillon and Dusty Rhodes. We then see the Nature Boy giving a passionate promo in the ring, only to have a heart attack. So the next week, Flair's family would confront Eric, only for Bischoff to insult them, beat down his son David, and kiss his wife Beth. Who's the kiss-stealing one now?
Pretty extreme stuff.
A little bit.
We then go backstage where Buff Bagwell and Scott Steiner barge into Konnan's locker room, telling him that the Red Black is dead. And Scotty continues that he promised not to put his hands on Luger, but he can't say the same about K-Dog, when Lex would arrive to hold back Konnan from getting into a fight. And Steiner and Bagwell leave while K-Dog questions Luger's motives, wondering if there's something he should know. And just so some backstory for this, Scotty is now the de facto leader of Black and White, as Hogan's off running for president.
That's right. How about that?
And he tried to recruit Lex away from the Wolfpack, pointing out that Nash had eliminated him in the World War III match, while Konnan had also left him out of his music video.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Those are fighting reasons.
I mean,
The one where he just says his catchphrases.
Yeah, totally.
Rowdy.
Rowdy.
So we go to our fifth match. Scott Norton and Brian Adams
That's a dream team.
with Vincent versus Finlay and Jerry Flynn.
Do we have to?
Oh, we do.
And Tony mentions that he just received a note from the championship committee. They have made the main event a no DQ contest. Wondering who lobbied for that change.
Huh.
But then does mention that he thinks all title matches should be that way.
You shut your mouth. I've never been so upset at Bobby Heenan as when he said that. Wrestling needs rules. It needs rules to be good for me. For me to enjoy it, it needs rules. And I'm tired. Tired of these no rule having sons of bitches.
Yeah, it's okay if it's a theme match of this one match has no rules, but
You got to build up
every
to it.
championship match.
You have 3 matches.
Yeah.
1 or 2 of them can be gimmicks.
Yes.
So Adams and Fitz start us off with back and forth action until Finlay crashes on a missed corner charge, leading to Bryan tagging out and Norton delivering several clotheslines and a power slam. Flynn jumps in to help his partner, only for Scott to break through their double clothesline attempt to nail one of his own. And Norton with chops sends Jerry to a corner and charges in. But Flynn avoids and responds with a wheel kick, forcing Scott to tag out. And Adams asks for a test of strength, only for Jerry to kick and chop his opponent to take control.
Crushed it.
When a reversed whip sends Flynn to the ropes, where Vincent gets a shot in from the apron, leading to a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker from Bryan for a 2 count. Jerry then flips out of a vertical suplex to land a hook kick, bringing Fit back in for strikes, but Adams catches Finlay telegraphing his move to nail a pile driver.
Damn.
Norton returns to keep the attack with a DDT, a neck breaker, and a head vice, followed by an avalanche splash in a corner that knocks Fit to the floor, where Bryan gets a few shots in as well. And Finlay's rolled in for forearms to the back, a short arm clothesline, and a shoulder breaker by Scott for a near fall, followed by the NWO teaming up for a double back elbow, before Fit rallies with a jawbreaker and a DDT for a 2 count. He leaps off the second rope, only for Adams to get his boot up to the chin, turning the tide for him to hit a pressing gutbuster and leap on Finlay's back multiple times. And Bryan goes for one more when Fit turns over with his knees up, allowing him to make the crawl for the hot tag.
Not so hot tag.
Flynn with kicks to Norton, but Adams is back in to attack from behind. So Finlay's back in for a double short arm clothesline to Bryan. Jerry knocks Vincent off the apron while Fit and Adams brawl to the floor,
I smell a finish coming.
leaving Scott to take down Jerry with a clothesline and a powerbomb for the pin and the win.
This was pretty lame. These guys don't suck. This match amounted to a big ol' 0.
Yep.
Not bad wrestlers, bad match that no one could possibly care about. I mean, that's what's so funny is that, like, it's so textbook that you get to that right before the finish and it's like, and then we're going to do this and then we're going to do that and then, and then it's over. And it's like a good match. There's some weight to those things and something in between that. But when you get to the hot tag and you could hear a mouse fart, You might as well just phone it in. Phone that finish in. Collect the paycheck.
Mean Gene's in the Iaukea again, this time bringing out Eric Bischoff.
Who's doing his best Shawn Michaels impersonation.
And Okerlund says everything between him and Flair must stop. With Eric agreeing, he caused pain to the Nature Boy's family and spoke untruths. So Bischoff wants to set the record straight. He feels bad for Flair. He's pushing himself beyond his limits and even calls for the fans to cheer him for overcoming his bad heart, as the Nature Boy is risking his life, even stepping into the ring. And Eric continues that Flair is only doing this because he's broke, that he never saved a dime from his 104 years in wrestling, paying for all those jets and limos from his own pocket, while Bischoff uses WCW's money for it.
I mean, doth protest too much.
And even going as far as calling himself the king of the kiss stealing.
I mean, this is all great stuff. The only downside is that
Eric Bischoff's delivering it.
Yeah, Eric Bischoff, and I think he's delivering it perfectly to be hateable. But so it's
to be cool heel.
Yeah, but
not hateable.
But he's not coming off as a cool heel to me. He's coming off as exactly what he is. But that's not what he's trying to do, I don't think.
Yeah.
But the subject matter, the material, the angle is great.
I agree.
It's also like 100% true, which is why it's so good.
Tony then sends us to a video recap about Chris Jericho, where we see him mocking Konnan on an episode of Nitro, using an imposter and him beating him down. So we then go to our sixth match. Chris Jericho with Ralphus.
Don't forget Ralphus.
Versus Konnan for the WCW World Television Championship. And the story behind this match is that Jericho's problems with Bobby Duncombe Jr. continued until he helped K-Dog win the belt to teach Chris a lesson. And Jericho would insult Konnan's music video, reenact the bout using an imposter, even using the display to show how K-Dog had cheated to win. And on the go-home Nitro, Chris would attack Konnan and steal the title belt. So that would be why Jericho wears the title belt out, taking a mic to wish everyone a happy Jericho holidays, before insulting Konnan, calling him Baby Huey, saying that he doesn't understand any of his phrases, followed by a rhyme about himself. I don't know what rowdy rowdy means. I don't know what bowdy bowdy means. But I can tell you this. I am a man of the hour, the man with the power, the man too sweet to be sour. I am the woman's pet, the man's regret, the man with the voice, the Jericho-holic's choice.
Ooh, a little rap of his own.
Yeah.
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
I thought it was kind of boo-boo, but that's what Jericho's doing. That's the character he's playing.
Yeah.
He's a guy that would say this stuff.
He's playing the character.
It's on brand.
Perfection, but
yeah,
it's lame.
but
At the same time,
he's trying to be lame. I think it's hard to tell with that guy.
Chris then continues that K-Dog should show some fashion sense like Ralphus. Pull up your pants, because your drawers are showing.
He just went full Cosby on him.
Konnan then makes his entrance and takes the mic to tell Jericho this is how you rock a mic before doing his shtick. I won't make you guys
Bowdy, rowdy,
chant
rowdy.
along with it.
Viva
Ole.
Blasa.
And the two start the match trading strikes and leapfrogs when K-Dog would nail a basement dropkick, only for Chris to answer back with a spinning heel kick and head up top for a splash. But Konnan avoids, followed by a clotheslining Jericho to the floor. K-Dog comes off the apron with an axe handle, only for Chris to sidestep, sending his opponent into the railing. He then sets the ring steps up, but Konnan reverses the whip to boomerang Jericho into the guardrail as well. K-Dog charges in, only to receive a boot to the face before being rammed into the ring post
Posted.
and rolled inside, where Chris delivers a vertical suplex and a cocky pin for a 2 count. And Jericho puts a chin lock on, hits some chops, chokes, and a scoop slam, followed by going to the top, but Konnan gets his boot up to the chin, firing up with a rolling clothesline and an Alabama slam for a near fall. But Chris responds with a jawbreaker and a lion salt for a 2 count, sending K-Dog rolling out to regroup, only for Jericho to fly out with a triple jump plancha. But Konnan sidesteps, sending Chris head first into the steel steps.
Yeah, the ones that he set up earlier. I keep wanting to say Schrodinger's. What is it called?
Pavlov's gun?
No,
Schrodinger's gun.
What's
Schrodinger's cat?
Schrodinger's cat, but what's the Chekhov's?
Chekhov's.
Okay. That's the one. We got there.
It's Chekhov's steel steps.
Yeah.
Back inside the ring, K-Dog goes for a facebuster, only for Jericho to block and try to turn his opponent over into the lion tamer. But Konnan blocks, so Chris catapults him into a corner. Jericho then charges in, only for K-Dog to move and stomp down Chris, when the ref tries to stop him. But Konnan shoves Billy Silverman away and immediately regrets it, so he goes to check on the ref. Jericho uses the opening to grab the title, decking K-Dog with it for the pin, and no, Konnan kicks out.
A little bit of a slow count.
Chris begins throwing a fit, allowing K-Dog to nail a sit-out facebuster and lock on the Tequila Sunrise for the submission and the win.
And he's got his belt back.
No, Konnan has the belt.
It's already his belt.
That's what I mean. He got it
Yeah,
back.
yeah, he got it back for sure. He didn't win it. He just got it back.
We go to the WCW.com room where Lee Marshall is laughing with the Giant about his recent chokeslam antics. And Lee says DDP laughed in the big man's face after his attack, which pisses off the Giant, throwing his headset off, even though the volume doesn't change at all when he talks, asking if Marshall is insulting him and to never get in his face again before leaving.
Big man, big word.
Big ego.
So we go to our 7th match. Eric Bischoff versus the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. And the story behind this match was that when the Nature Boy came back, he went about putting the Horsemen back together, even bringing in Barry Windham, only for Bischoff to say he had no authority in hiring anyone. But it was all a ruse, as Windham would attack Flair, while the NWO jumped the others. Eric then said that the Nature Boy could have a match with him if Dean Malenko could defeat Barry, with Dusty Rhodes as the ref. Which, remember, Dusty's part of NWO.
So yes, how could we forget?
But Malenko would win when Dusty would DQ Windham for a low blow, which would lead to Rhodes being fired. Flair would then get too worked up during a promo, causing him to have a mild heart attack. So the Nature Boy's family would confront Bischoff, only to be beaten down. And Flair come out, he'd make his entrance, but he would drop his robe halfway down the entranceway and rush the ring, only for Bischoff to escape to the floor. So the Nature Boy gives chase around ringside, catching up with him to deliver strikes and chops, before rolling him in to beat Eric from pillar to post. Yeah. Bischoff begs for a break, but Flair doesn't let up, followed by Eric claiming that his knee hurts. So the Nature Boy begins to target it, with the ref stepping in to make sure the Nature Boy doesn't go too far. And Flair argues with Robinson, allowing Bischoff to use the opening to kick the Nature Boy in the head,
Karate.
knocking him to the floor, with Eric giving chase to ram his opponent into the railing, which busts him open.
Of course it does.
Is it a Flair match if he doesn't bleed?
Back inside the ring, Bischoff with strikes to take control until a trio of low blows by Flair changes the momentum. And the Nature Boy rips Eric's shirt before more chops and strikes in a corner, leading to the ref trying to get them, out of the corner, only to be shoved away. So Flair uses this opportunity to shatter some dreams.
I mean, it's nice to see.
He got Dusty fired, so he's like, yeah, I'll just use his kid's move. The Nature Boy continues the punishment with a back suplex, vertical suplex, and a figure 4. When Kurt Hennig arrives, handing Bischoff an FO, decking Flair in the head and making the cover for the pin and the win. And last time we saw Hennig was at Fall Brawl 98, episode 319. Been a minute for him. I will say that we're not watching the next night's Nitro.
Okay.
So I'm going to just tell you what happens. Probably reiterate it whenever we get to the next WCW show that we're watching.
Whatever it leads to. Yeah.
The next night, Flair and Bischoff fight again, this time with the presidency of WCW on the line.
Oh.
And Flair wins.
Yeah.
But does it amount to a hill of beans?
I mean, Flair gets back into the picture, basically, and Bischoff just kind of just goes and does his NWO thing for a little while. But Flair versus Bischoff for the presidency of WCW, wouldn't that have made a better pay-per-view match?
Absolutely, but Eric wants to get one over on him on the pay-per-view.
He's trying to, well, I'd say trying to build up that Nitro, but you're not announcing it on the pay-per-view to lead people into Nitro anyway, so it's just...
There's probably an opening promo that like leads to it, and
yeah,
it's
dumb.
I mean, I will say that like Hennig drags Eric to the back because Eric's knee's all fucked up because he was selling it like his job depended on it in that ring. But this was much better than I expected. But I think that has a whole lot to do with the fact that Ric Flair could work with a pillow.
Yeah. Tony then sends us to a recap video over DDP's issues with Bret Hart and the Giant, where we'd see Paige be goaded into a no DQ match versus the Hitman, leading to the big man coming down to help, choke slamming DDP a pair of times during the match, which would cost Paige the U.S. title. And the Giant tells DDP you don't mess with Bret or the NWO. So Paige attacked the big man with a chair, telling the Giant that if you want some, come get some. And then on the next Nitro, Bret would put the title on the line. But it was all a trap, with the big man dismantling one of the WCW signs and choke slamming DDP through the stage.
I mean, that was
He killed him.
a cool little segment, like him pulling the WCW
The letters
logo
off,
apart, was impressive. And then, of course, it was the stage behind that where we've seen a million spots. This is an early one, but this will go on to be a WWF staple as well as a WCW staple, I'd imagine, as well. Where it's like, oh, if we
The
put
padded area behind the stage.
yeah, and it's I don't know exactly what they use, but it's like something thin that they can fall through, so you don't see the padding. You guys have seen a Shane McMahon match?
A few.
A time or two.
So we go to our 8th match, the Giant versus Diamond Dallas Page. And the two men spit at each other to begin before they brawl their way outside and into the crowd, where DDP blocks a punch with a trash can before smashing the big man over the head with it as well. And the Giant responds by whipping Page into the ring steps, yanking him into the post multiple times, and then press slamming DDP into the ring.
I love a press slam into the ring. It's just, it feels nice. You got to be a big guy to do it. That's like a Bam Bam or Paul. I mean, not Paul, the Giant type of thing here. But DDP comes out and he's so over. I'm just like, why doesn't this guy have the belt?
And the big man works the knee of his opponent with elbow drops, smashing it into the mat in a leg lock until Page rakes the eyes to escape. And the Giant keeps up the attack with chops and a corner clothesline, followed by locking on a bear hug, which DDP breaks free of, only to run into a power slam for a 2 count. And the big man goes back to the bear hug, with Page clapping the ears and biting his face to escape this time. He goes for a sunset flip, but the Giant stays up and choke lifts DDP into a backbreaker.
Yeah, I love that. He does the double reach down to him on the mat, double choke slam lift, and then just kneels down. It looks great.
The big man then continues the punishment with chops. He goes for a hip toss, only for Page to counter into a DDT, making the cover for the pin. And no, the Giant powers out, sending DDP onto the ref.
Ref bump.
And Bret Hart makes his way out with a chair, where he swings away. But Page avoids, causing the big man to take the blow. DDP then nails a low blow to the Hitman. DDP nails a low blow to the Hitman before several flying clotheslines to the Giant, only for the big man to catch him on the third attempt by the throat. So Page kicks low, but the Giant keeps hold, taking DDP up to the turnbuckles for a super choke slam.
Damn.
Only for Page to reverse into a super diamond cutter for the pin and the win. Post-match, Bret looks on as DDP celebrates, finally backing away when Page heads into the crowd.
I hate to say it because I love him, but DDP is better than Sting. He's just a better performer, and like he seems like he's like Sting's been over, but they never pulled the trigger on him. But DDP's a better seller. Yeah, that was like just a thing because I think that this should have sucked, but DDP does such a good job of working from underneath that it was fun and good. And I'm like, this is your guy. This is your guy right now. Yep. I know Goldberg's the guy too, but Goldberg's, as people would say, an attraction, not someone that can sustain. And it's such a shame that DDP, I mean, maybe he was a dog shit wrestler and it took him that long of observing it to fucking get it. And maybe that's why he appreciates it so much now and gives it his all every time he's in the ring. But it's kind of a shame that he didn't get to wrestle in any major way before he was like fucking 40.
Yeah. I mean, he's come a long way since, Honky Tonk Chauffeur from WrestleMania 6.
Yeah, but...
And hell, he's come a long way from just kicking off the shows with Johnny B. Bad just a few years ago.
Yeah, but if he could have been kicking off shows like 5 years before that, wouldn't that have been great? Because we didn't complain about any of those matches.
No.
And they happened like every pay-per-view for like 2 years.
Yeah, I think had he done that though, he would have fizzled out too fast. And,
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we wouldn't have had that same bang.
You never know. That's the thing with wrestling. It's like, it's bizarre. It's just this one, we've sung the praises of DDP, but this one kind of like really cemented them with me. It also might be the rest of the show. And then being like, oh, DDP, great. Not the whole show, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I've had some things on here that probably shouldn't be on pay-per-view. When we have like Lex Luger's and Steiner's and other people in the company that are nowhere to be seen.
We get the heavenly video package about Nash and Goldberg again.
It tells us nothing.
Exactly.
But Matt will do it for us.
But we go straight to our 9th match. Kevin Nash versus Goldberg for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. And Michael Buffer is here to do the announcement, so let's get ready to have something electrifying happen.
I find it so funny that at this point in like the 90s, there was even some on the show already, but the rampant homophobia of the era, and then the huge amount of people in the crowd with signs that say "Big Sexy" on them. It's so funny. I would, if I was the biggest Kevin Nash fan in the world, I would never wear a shirt that said Big Sexy on it. Number one, it's corny, and mostly it's corny. That's all. But there's all these people in here with all these men that probably have some negative opinions carrying signs calling a man sexy is very funny to me.
So Tony says Bill is at 173. Buffer says 174. I say 90 on TV, 150 including house shows and dark matches. So,
Yep.
whatever you want to talk.
Exactly. Carry the two.
A couple times.
Get Scott Steiner to give us the math.
Yeah.
There you go.
And the match gets going with Nash grabbing a headlock. But Bill frees himself with a back suplex, sending Kevin out to regroup. When he returns, Nash takes Goldberg to a corner for elbows and knees, when Bill would power Kevin to the mat, where they trade holds. Now back to their feet, Goldberg with strikes, but he gets yanked into a turnbuckle, allowing Nash to deliver more corner offense and attempt a big boot, only for Bill to duck and nail a spear. And Goldberg goes for his finisher, but Kevin blocks with a low blow and regains control with a side slam for a 2 count. Elbow drops for a near fall, and a running straddle for another 2 count. And Nash works the back with forearms when Bill would fire back with a kick, only to take a back elbow and clothesline to be knocked back down. And Kevin attempts a vertical suplex, but Goldberg counters it into a spinning neckbreaker, followed by a double underhook suplex, a thrust kick, and a power slam, when Disco Inferno and Bam Bam Bigelow run down to the ring.
One of these things is not like the other.
So, side note here, Disco kept coming out with a personalized Wolfpack shirt that he said was from Nash, saying that he had been made a member of the NWO, but no one, not even the other Wolfpack members, believed him.
So comedy wrestler does comedy thing and then shows up in the main event to try to claim his spot by saving the day.
To help the guy who he says put him into the NWO. I'm like,
Comedy wrestler doing the comedy spot in the main event of pay-per-view. Cool.
Bill would fend off both men with spears and clotheslines, when a security guard jumps on the apron. Hey, that's Scott Hall! And he zaps Goldberg with a stun gun. And Kevin's back to his feet and he sees Bill down on the mat. So he grabs him to deliver a jackknife powerbomb for the pin and the win. And post-match, Nash collects the belt, even though he's confused, as Goldberg continues to convulse and fall out of the ring.
Yeah, Goldberg stumbling, looking silly.
And Tony says he needs some medical attention, calls the ending unbelievable, before saying his goodbyes, and we fade to black.
I mean, this is the closest that anybody's got to getting cheers versus Goldberg. And there were even some Goldberg sucks chants, but it was not nearly as loud as the love for Goldberg.
So I ask you gentlemen, what are your overall thoughts of Starrcade 1998?
I mean, pretty whack. I really liked the Norman and Prince match. I thought the Cruiserweights really flexed their abilities. Rick and Bischoff was better than it should have been. Same with Giant and DDP. I said it earlier, but the starting with a 40-minute Cruiser segment was a bit much, but in hindsight, they could have won an hour. And fuck all of this. Diamond Dallas Page should be the champion of this company.
Totally. Arriba Rasa.
Come on, somebody come in here with a hot take.
Rowdy, bowdy. Yeah, I mean, it got started off great. The first match, short list match, loved it, had fun with it. Even if people think it may have gone just a tad too long, I still enjoyed it. Anything that has Eddie in it, I'm typically down for. And then the stupidity started to come in. Like the Smiley Iaukea match, I was okay with that one. Ernest the Cat and Saturn, I want to like. This next one has Crush, so I can't like.
I love Grudge. grudge holding chain.
Yeah, it started off hot, and then it WCW like WCW can only WCW, and I don't give a fuck after the third or fourth match on the show. There's DDP. Yeah, he had a fun spot in his match, or a fun portion in his match, but it wasn't enough to revive, and even Shock Therapy wasn't enough to make me give a fuck about that last
Shock Therapy
match.
Probably made it worse, and the other stuff didn't need to happen if you're going to do this. I guess it did to distract, but
it's the usual WCW NWO shenanigans where it's like, it starts off great and I'm going to have a positive vibe about it, and then they just progressively just keep continuously kicking me in the nuts with each new match.
As well as themselves.
Yeah. We start off really strong.
Mm-hmm.
We then get WCW Saturday Night for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Only to return to slightly above average to finish the night off. I actually like the last two matches. I mean,
yeah,
you're not going to beat Goldberg clean. They're never going to beat him clean for his first loss. Like,
no,
we
yeah,
all
and
know
like
that.
it was. I mean, Goldberg had to do something.
And you are correct. Nash was getting cheers, not to the level that Goldberg was, but he's still one of the bigger pops
For sure.
of the night.
He's
So,
the leader of the biggest.
I have no issue with it being Kevin Nash that wins this.
I don't know who else it could have been.
So if you grade on a curve, which with WCW shows you have to,
Absolutely.
I give the show a thumbs up.
No, not me.
Because literally the only match that I would absolutely get rid of is the NWO versus Finlay and Flynn tag match. That's the only one that I would get rid of.
That was the one where it didn't feel like anybody was trying to.
I mean, it just made no sense why they were even.
Why it was happening.
Yeah.
Knowing what we know about
I mean, it's our first time we've ever seen Jerry Flynn. Like, why is the first time we've ever seen Jerry Flynn on a Starrcade?
Knowing what we know about Bischoff and Flair's match, I'd get rid of that one only because it's meaningless.
About to happen again.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I mentioned it then.
Swap one for the other.
I would just make for the presidency match on the pay-per-view so it has some stakes.
Also, if anybody didn't get the pay-per-view and they tune in to WCW on Nitro, they're going to be like, what the fuck happened? How did this happen? And then
Flair walks out.
First
thing on the Chiron says, President of WCW. Everyone goes, what the fuck did I just miss?
Then he has his segment. You go to first commercial and do the ad for the replay. Because people are going to want to see what happened.
And literally, he puts all of NWO in matches that night, and WCW screws over NWO, and it leads them into the new year.
Sounds like you have a good mind for this, Matt. The only issue is, are you the politician that these men are?
No.
Could you put up with them for a minute?
Probably not.
I think that's the biggest issue, because I'm sure that idea was floated by somebody because it makes so much sense.
I mean, it doesn't help that Flair and Bischoff just don't like each other, so...
Yeah.
Yep.
So that Bischoff was even willing to, even on screen, be like, I'm not the president of WCW is, surprising.
Yeah.
Good. Where's the smart marks at? There. All right. Fuck you.
I think it's time we smark it up. So what are some of the best moments of this show?
I love everything that Norman Smiley did because I like his style of wrestling. And
Give us a little big wiggle.
Oh yeah. It's the where you slap it,
Yeah.
hit it from the back.
Yep.
I'm sitting right now, but
I get what you're saying.
yeah. Big whip.
I always enjoy Kidman. Now that he is clean and sober and can actually wrestle.
And we're also obviously talking about his character.
Yes.
So we're not. It's not a Scott Hall situation.
No.
Not a Scott Hall situation. He is no longer a flunky.
Yeah, funky ass junkie.
Yes, a heroin addict and whatever he was portrayed as before. He's actually a wrestler who can wrestle and get in there with people who know how to wrestle and wrestle with them
keeps up.
Greatly.
He keeps up with some of the fastest guys around.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we literally could go for 5 minutes just talking about like the coolest fucking moves that they do in that match.
Yeah,
because there's definitely some like stuff that they do that it's building off of other things that are done, but it's just taking it to like one level more, like the Rana off of the shoulders.
Yeah. I mean, these guys came out here and they did everything plus some stuff that's never been done, and it's like, well, sorry for everybody that has to wrestle after that.
Yeah.
Luckily, there wasn't any matches that like had to quote unquote follow that because there was no other that style of wrestling on the show.
And see, that's the thing. Like, you would think that Guerrero and Kidman would then go and have like the same kind of match, but Guerrero actually played it pretty close to the vest and like almost did ground and pound style offense.
It totally made sense.
Yeah.
Also, he's angry.
He went about
So,
it
like,
almost tournament style, where we can't do the same thing that just happened in the first match. We have to switch it up here, but still.
Who would have known that a great wrestler had a good idea about how to portray like a fight?
Right.
Yeah, Kidman always just had that, I don't know, Tony Hawk appeal to him, where he just looks like a regular dude that isn't going to be anything special, and he gets out there and it's like, how the fuck are you doing all this stuff?
Yeah, he doesn't look like physically, he just looks like a guy, like you said, at the skate park. Like he doesn't, but he's and he's also he's incredibly smooth. Those white guys typically aren't as smooth when it comes to the lucha stuff.
And years later, when you start seeing the ladies that he pulls, it's like, okay,
does he pull some certified honeys?
Oh, Tori Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to see Flair back.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and it's always nice when Flair comes back and he's excited. You can tell he was excited to be back, and so much so that he's doing a great job of putting a man he does not like through an entertaining match. His promos are good. We've seen bad Flair promos. My only thing that bums me out is that we've seen this happen every like 6 months for like a decade, and then Flair his candle goes out quickly a lot of the time, and probably for good reason, but hopefully it'll last more than 2 months.
And as you mentioned, DDP was, I mean, you're correct. Like, DDP and Giant actually had a pretty good match.
I mean, DDP also incredibly intelligent. He knows the Giant can't do much, so what does DDP do? He works from underneath and sells the shit out of his back in an incredible way. Some of the best selling I've seen in a while, and makes the match feel like it. I mean, it means something, but it feels like a fight. The disco thing really confused me. I'm kind of bummed that Bam Bam is just, they brought him in and they're paying him to just kind of be this like side piece that doesn't matter.
I mean, we'll just move to disappointing because, yeah, disco should have never come out here.
No.
I understand the story.
I mean, unless you set that up earlier in the show.
Yeah.
Like, you have disco
all
and
those angelic flashbacks and whatnot. You couldn't give us.
You have a wolf pack meeting in the back or whatever.
But WCW doesn't really do that on their pay-per-views, where WWF does that now, and they do a good job of integrating that stuff and making the show feel. They've done. Sometimes they've had some shows that feel more like Raws than pay-per-views, or like Raws with longer matches, but most of the time they kind of nail we're able to slip in these vignettes and it still feels like an event show.
Because, I mean, you could have still just had Bam Bam running out, and that would have been fine. We didn't need the Disco Inferno of it.
Yeah, it should have been just Bam Bam. I understand the disco thing, but there's no way it can be important enough to be here when they could do something with him doing something similar tomorrow or whatever. Because, yeah, if it's just Bam Bam, everything still happens. If it's just disco, it's truly bad. It's truly stupid.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it doesn't need to be both.
I mean, I mentioned earlier that I thought Norman Smiley and Prince Iaukea probably should have gone a few minutes shorter.
Yeah.
I still think the match was good, but they probably should have gone a couple minutes longer because there was a little bit of a, like, we're working you over fire up spot, but then they like went back to the working over
Yeah.
segment again. So it was like probably could have cut that down just a little bit. This is going to sound like the weirdest disappointment.
Well, that's in.
But why is the only NWO Black and White match Scott Norton and Bryan Adams?
Very good point.
Why is it Scott Steiner wrestling?
The new leader, yeah.
Why wait? The Giant is Wolfpack.
Because Wolfpack is booking the show.
I mean, I guess Brett and Giant are
Yeah, they are.
NWO Black and White.
So yeah, the Giant.
So I mean, but that doesn't feel
it didn't feel like an NWO.
NWO thing. It felt more like a
DDP Giant.
a Giant thing with Brett being involved. I mean, Brett's not on the show because he had an injury, so that's why they moved. That's why they put the Giant here as kind of like a placeholder to keep Brett and DDP.
They're still juggling the balls.
Yeah, and I mean, Jericho's getting punished for the Goldberg stuff. Basically, that's why he lost the television championship, and we're gonna see real quickly him keep falling down the card. I'll tell you right now, he never wins a championship in WCW again.
How long till I start seeing my Y2J promos?
It's in the next year.
Yeah, around the corner. I remember as a kid watching that and being like the Y2J, like they kept teasing it, and I was like, "What the hell is this? I don't understand." And then when he finally came out, I was like, Who the fuck is Chris Jericho? Because I would like channel flip or whatever, but I was a WWF guy, not a WCW guy. So it's just funny considering how much I know about Chris Jericho now.
How about best performer of the night?
Kidman. Yeah, it's Kidman.
40 minutes of
excellent work.
Like a
complicated
excellent
work.
match and a very, very good match.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And most surprising? I mean, is it Disco Inferno?
It's Disco Inferno. I mean, most surprising for me is that Norton, Smiley, and Prince Iaukea were on a Starrcade in 1998.
I mean, that's true.
Because that happened, I was like...
Literally the most surprising thing is like some of these matches that they just went, we're going to put this on Starrcade, our biggest show of the year. Like, what? Like...
Where's Lex? Where's Sting? What's going on?
I mean...
Sting is still Fun and Jesus or...
Hogan's running for president. Hart's hurt.
Lex
is sitting in the back.
Either Steiner?
Steiner's sitting in the back.
Crazy.
Bagwell's sitting in the back.
Crazy.
Like, I mean, there's so many other wrestlers that they have. Like
Booker T is still injured, I guess.
Oh yeah, Booker T.
That's another big one.
Yeah.
I guess that's. I assume everybody's hurt, or they just decided that they didn't have anything for them.
The Horsemen were blocked from being there.
Yeah, I mean, like no.
Mongo was taken away by police, even or something.
No Benoit, no Malenko. There's like so much talent just chilling in the back, and some of it isn't even like. Yeah, it's like Lex Luger's not the world's greatest wrestler, but he's a name.
Like technically, they probably should have had 6-man tag of the three other horsemen versus some NWO Black and White. You can if you want Norton, Adams, and Vincent to be those three people, sure, whatever. I probably would have done Steiner, Bagwell, and Norton. That probably would have made it a little bit more
Steiner, Bagwell,
star power.
Stevie Ray, even.
Or that, But then literally after that match happens, you put that like the second match. So you still have the Cruiserweight thing. I mean, if you want to do the Eddie thing second, put that match third match. That means you're at like the hour and a half mark of this show. So at that point, that's when Bischoff comes out, does his interview, and announces that he's banned the Horsemen from the...
Horsemen have already been on the show.
They've already been there. Yep. They've already had their match. Yep. But now you get to actually see... Like, so Bischoff literally comes out right after that match, says that, and you see security come out and walk these three guys who're still in their gear. So they don't even get to go to the locker room. So it like makes it even more like humiliating for them and everything. Yeah. And walks them out of the building. you get to see it, and it gives it more stakes that the Horsemen are banned from the building instead of it just being a line.
And it added value to the card because you had them wrestle a match.
Exactly.
In a newly reformed Four Horsemen with Ric Flair.
Yep.
The only time the Four Horsemen matter is when Ric Flair's around. So get him on the card.
Where's my time machine, guys?
I mean...
WCW still be around.
I mean... Do you have to... Are you showing up with those contracts already in on?
I mean, I just go back to, like, whenever they decided to do the Hogan Sting thing and just, like, start rebooking all of 98.
Yeah. It would be better.
Yep.
We all agree. It would be better.
Anything else surprising?
WCW gonna WCW? She ain't said it all. No, I mean, I'm trying to think. They're, like you said, the NWO tag match, and it was Finlay and a guy I've never seen before. Who was that?
Jerry Flynn.
Jerry Flynn, not Jerry Lynn. I know Jerry Lynn. Jerry Flynn.
I wish it had been Jerry Lynn.
Mr. JF.
Yeah, I don't know who
It would have been a much better match if it had been Jerry Lynn.
Does Flynn ever become anything?
No.
I didn't think so. What is he doing here? What is he doing here?
Taking up a spot on Starrcade.
What's the deal? Go Jerry Flynn.
Making their way to the ring.
It's trivia time. For the last time this season.
Ooh.
This week the category is Survivor.
So good, it's Survivor.
I'm gonna make it.
Can it be Big Brother instead?
And this week, you're going to name wrestlers.
Oh, fuck me, right?
Going back and forth. And Shane, you're still behind.
Yep.
I think I'm gonna grab a pen or a pencil. Would you like one?
No.
Because remember, if you repeat a name...
Yep. Oh, I know.
Okay.
I'm doing it.
We'll be here a while because there's 247 names for you guys.
Jesus.
This is abuse.
Yep.
So Shane, start naming those wrestlers that wrestled in 1995.
1995, we had... We'll just go for a namesake. We'll say Shane Douglas to start it off. Seriously?
No, he had to have been. We've had to have seen Shane Douglas in '95. Control F.
CCW.
Control F.
He was Dean Douglas at the end of 95, so I just had him...
Okay.
Had him in the
I forgot that.
different spot alphabetically.
Okay.
That's not going to count against me, though,
No.
with the whole Brutus Butcher man with no name.
He was Shane Douglas at one point.
Okay.
Yeah,
Making sure. In 95.
Michael.
Sting.
Yes.
Bret Hart.
Yes.
Shawn Michaels.
Yes.
Diesel.
Yes.
Razor Ramon.
Yes.
Undertaker.
Yes.
Ric Flair.
Yes.
Mabel. Perhaps even King Mabel.
Yes.
Mo.
Yes.
See, I was trying to remember if Mo was still around at that time.
I know. I went on a limb.
Sabu.
Yes.
Sandman.
Yes.
How about my friend Mr. Too Cold Scorpio?
Yes.
This is so silly.
I say one that's already been said.
I got them all here. That would be crazy. There's so many wrestlers. Goldust? Dustin
Yes.
Reynolds? I was like, shit, when did he start? Over there.
Mikey Whipwreck.
Yes.
Brian Pillman?
Yes.
Jushin Thunder Liger.
Yes.
I'm going to go on it for a crazy one. It might just hit this quickly, but just for fun, because I thought about it earlier, and I don't know why it was one of the first ones that popped in my head that was like off the beaten path. Negro Casas.
Shooting with that one.
I know. And JPW?
10 points for Shane.
Oh.
Finally, I don't lose the Survivor.
He said you should hunt like, and I was like, you know what? I had negative process in my brain for no reason at all, except for that a lot of the times whenever we do this, I try to think of like a random person to like for the back pocket, and like when we did the last week, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna hold out for the IWGP ones to when it gets thin, because I know that we saw at least the heavyweight and the junior belts.
Was Skip on there?
Skip?
Chris Candido, Skip and Sonny.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to remember if that was 95.
Skip was 95.
Yeah, that was going to be my next one, so I just had to make sure it was on there.
I'm not going to run down the other 230 choices that you guys would have had. Next week, Making Their Way to the Ring, Volume 3.
It's the end of 98, and we've got some things to revisit.
Yeah.
That's right.
Making our way downtown.
Yeah, that's your homework, Shane, is doing a cover where you change the lyrics to
Make my way to the ring.
Yep, that's the next part. That's the part. That's the hard part.
Someone sings and I'm homebound. Yeah.
It's got to be the wrestling thing.
But music from this week's show is Sink Your Teeth by Rick DeFonso and Scott Shearer. And Kevin Nash won our main event, so we play Wolfpack by Jimmy Hart and Howard Helm.
Jimmy Hart do the rap part?
No.
Totally.
And if you like this episode or any of our other ones, please go out there and rate and review us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you find your podcasts at. Do as Michael says.
5 stars or no stars? 6 stars. Was Damien 666 on there?
Yes.
Ah!
To Korea, even we could have gone all down that
Oh
show.
yeah.
We didn't even make it to Hawk or
Antonio Inoki.
Inoki. Yeah.
And if you have any questions, comments, concerns.
We're not going anywhere next week, are we?
No.
Hey, if you have a suggestion of just something that I should bring as far as drinking, or I don't know, what the fuck did you think of this show? Were you happy with the win? With Kevin Nash winning? With the way it all went down? Did you love the first match as much as we did? Do you hate Crush as much as I do, that you refuse to call him Brian Adams? I want to know.
Maybe you had a Raw or Nitro. What do you call that? When you do it the same thing every time.
Being crazy?
No, a ritual. Did you have a ritual for watching these shows in the 90s?
I did.
A pizza and a 2-liter. Like, you know, did you have a food thing you did? Probably just drank cheap beer and ate pizza.
Where do you get your pupusas from?
You can email any of those things to us at WrestlingHistoryX@gmail.com or find us on X at WrestlingHistoX. It's Wrestling HISTO X. We'll talk to you next week.
Norman Smilaters.
Smiley.